Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, so
Governor sounds better.
I'm sorry, what?
Governor sounds better.
Governor does sound better, so we'll get to that in just a minute. And please welcome Claudia, his lovely wife. Claudia. So I don't want to take too much of your time, but I wanted you to know that I am in full support of Mike Kehoe and have been for many, many years. So I wrote a few things down that's important to me. In a governor, I want a man or woman that knows how to sign both sides of the check. He's been there, he's done that, he knows what he's doing. I want a successful businessman or woman that knows how to balance a budget and stay within it. I want a governor with proven leadership skills. I've watched Mike Kehoe work magic on the Senate floor numerous times. He has what it takes to be a good governor. I want a governor that knows and understands that agriculture is #1 industry in the state of Missouri. Mike is our man. Mike is the American dream, from a poor neighborhood in St. Louis to the lieutenant governorship. And I want his next chapter in that story to read, Governor of Missouri, Mike Kehoe.
Well, thank you, Janet. This is a great crowd. It just shows you what good shaved ice will bring out a lot of people. And so, Janet, we appreciate your friendship.
Thank you, Watson girls.
Thank you, Watson girls. Good job. And just to show you that I can work with anybody, I got great news for you that I'm not a professional politician. I'm actually a car dealer. So that's good. And even though I'm a Ford dealer, we'll go ahead and put that Bailey. I appreciate you coming out. Claudia and I and our team are making the rounds through the state. I think everybody knows in 27 days you have an election where Missouri will decide who their leaders are really for the next 4 years. Don't get me wrong, there is a November election, but I say thank God for this. Missouri really leans conservative, so the people who win in August are more than likely at all levels, including state, senate, etc., going to be the winners in November. So August primary is really important. Janet mentioned importance of agriculture. I'm a first-generation farmer. In August, I'll be 40 years in the cow-calf business. Matter of fact, I sold a load of calves this morning, and I'm waiting for my phone to ring to tell me how that went. But with me today, I've got two folks that I call the godfather of agriculture, traveling with us for a few days. Charlie Cruz, 20-year president of Missouri Farm Bureau, is here somewhere.
Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie. We've also got Dr. Anson Elliott, who is the dean of Missouri State University Ag School, an incredible agriculture proponent. And I don't know where Anson is, but he's here. He's probably in the store shopping somewhere. But Anson and Charlie are great folks for me to be.
Right back there, Mike.
He's waving. Wave, Anson. They're great folks for me to have as kind of consultants on the agriculture business. As Janet said, this has been a crazy journey for us. I was born in North City, St. Louis, where I didn't know what a horse or a cow was. Youngest of 6, my dad left when I was a year old. My mom raised us all herself, working multiple jobs. We worked multiple jobs. We just did it to support our family. That's all we knew. I got a big break when I was 15 to start washing cars at a Ford dealership. And that's where I started, in sweeping floors and washing cars and running the parts truck. And remember the old undercoat days? Spraying undercoat. Eventually became a salesman for that gentleman. He was my mentor. He kind of helped raise me in life and sent me into Lynn, Missouri in 1987 to run a manufacturing business that built vans, conversion vans. We slowly but surely turned that company. It was 25 people, about ready to close.
Lifestyle.
25 people. Now today, it's 140 people there, and they're the 3rd largest emergency vehicle manufacturer in the United States. And I tell that story for this reason. When I went to buy that company, I could not put everything together. I was very young. I had not met Claudia yet. If I had her, I could have probably got a better loan. but this is a true story. The Missouri State Treasurer's Office came out with a program called Mo Bucks. And that treasurer was Wendell Bailey. And I was the first Mo Bucks recipient in the state of Missouri. And that company, those 140 people, the right people in the right positions make a difference for a long time. And that story is true. And that's how I met Wendell. I didn't even know what a treasurer, a politician was. And so Wendell was really good to me. And I'm so grateful for him and Jane to be here and John to give me this nice hat that I can wear, John, out in the hayfields. So anyway, we went from manufacturing to acquiring a Ford dealership in Jefferson City. That's where I spent most of our career with Claudia and I. We've raised 4 kids, ages 24 to 32. And if we make October, we'll be married 35 years. So it's been a heck of a life. Politics was never anything I dreamed of. I never thought it was something that I was born to do, or that, I thought it was something I was going to get in. I really just got aggravated because I was paying a lot of taxes. I wasn't sure who was doing what with it. And so I was able to run for a state Senate seat several years ago. I'm fortunate enough to be elected right there in central Missouri out of Jefferson City. Ran again, re-elected. I was done in the Senate with term limits, and I'm fine with that. When Governor Parson became governor, he asked me to become lieutenant governor. Of course, my first answer was no, I'm done with that rodeo over there. But governors can be very persuasive, and it's been a great time because as lieutenant governor, it's been able to get us to go around the state and meet a lot of people and really fall in love with Missouri. In the lieutenant governor's office, we are the advocate for our state's veterans. And so one of the first questions I got here is, how will you treat our state's veterans? I would encourage you to look at our record of veterans versus the field on this Republican gubernatorial primary. I think you'll see some big differences. We've been the veterans advocate for several years and have made great process in getting more veteran service officers, more resources to our veterans' homes, and just more benefits for our veterans. And that's the best thing we can do. Missouri is number 6 in the United States at 470,000 veterans. Those heroes are the reason we stand here today. And veterans is the number 1 issue that we can do out of our lieutenant governor's office, and that's opened a lot of doors for us around the state. And as we kept traveling the state and learning more about Missouri, obviously Governor Parson is term limited out. We had to think about a decision, quite frankly, pray about a decision to see if this was the right fit for us going forward. And really when you look at the field, I thought, as Janet said, somebody in a policy position that's started and built several businesses with the help of a lot of people. We've created hundreds of jobs over the years. We've signed both sides of the paycheck. That unique perspective of growing from inner city St. Louis and living in an area where literally we did not have grass in our yard. We went to a cemetery to play to find grass, all the way to a first generation farmer, I think gives a unique perspective in this state. And it's something that I think we can use in a policy position. So that's what we believe is our differences. We're a person that, I'm not a screamer and a holler. If you want somebody that's a flamethrower or throws hand grenades, I'm sorry, I'm not your guy. But if you want somebody who understands how to build a consensus and come up with a conservative, Christian-based Missouri family values solution, that's where I think my role is. I think the good Lord put me in a spot where I know how to bring people together. And that doesn't mean compromising values. I will be a conservative to the core, the way my mother raised me, until the day I die. But Missourians really do want somebody who's going to move the state forward. Look, I don't want government involved in your life. That's the number 1 thing any elected official can do. I know Travis Smith agrees with me on that. A great person that you sent to the Capitol is that you're all pretty smart. You don't need us telling you what to do every day. But I do think we've got to create an environment that is conducive for businesses to grow and prosper and other businesses to move here. I think my business background is able to do that. As a Ford dealer, I spent 3 years at Ford Motor Company corporate in their boardroom with the CEO of Ford Motor Company, helping make decisions for years. But I'm as comfortable as being in that boardroom as I out on my hay bind digging hay out of the back of my round baler when it bales up, which somehow got posted on social media. I'm like, couldn't you put a picture out there of the bale coming out perfect? So it's a difference, and I think that gives you a unique perspective, and that's the perspective I bring to the governor's office. My goal as a kid was to own my own bicycle. So I've come a long way. This state has been very, very good to me, and it's the only place I've ever learned to work. This is my way to give back. I think we need somebody that actually wants to govern. Because screaming is really easy, and throwing hand grenades is really easy. But governing is really hard. Sometimes you have to make decisions that you know in your heart is the best for Missourians, and you can move forward. And that's what we'll do. This country, 248 years old just last week, was formed by 56 people in Independence Hall in Philadelphia who all went into a room with an idea of what they wanted for a perfect union. They signed a document, and I'm guaranteeing you, not all of them got exactly what they wanted. This country was started on people who knew how to work together to move forward. And that's what we need in government. Stay out of your life, and when we need to be in your life, make sure we're doing things that's good for the people and giving you opportunities, just like my mother had, my brother had, and my sisters had. If I have something I can give to the state, that's what I believe I can give. So August 6th is just 27 days away. Travis and I are both on the ballot. You're going to make those decisions that day. I'm one of 8 on the Republican ballot. I'm asking you, and I'll visit with you. You can research us at mykehoe.com. You can talk to some of our folks here who have known me for a long time. I'm asking you to consider us to vote for your next governor. It would be very humbling for me to be able to do this because my journey through life has been one that's been very faith-based. My mother was a daily communicant. She went to church at 6 a.m. every morning of her life. And without her faith, she would have never made it through some incredible challenges that she had. And that's who I am. That's who brought me here today. At the end of the day, I know it's not my decision or your decision. It's somebody much higher decision. I'm good with that decision, but I'm going to work hard to get there to August 6th. I'd love to have your support. Jen, thank you. July 23rd, early voting starts. If you're going to be absent, you can actually start voting absentee today, but I tell people all the time in Illinois you can vote every day apparently, but in Missouri, starting July 23rd, you can vote with no excuses if you're going to be out of town. I know the courthouse will take care of you. Janet and her folks are great helping people when they come in there and cast your vote. In the meantime, if you tell your friends and neighbors you've heard from me, you've met me, you think my story is good or bad, I'm not sure what you're going to tell them. But on behalf of our veterans who are standing here today, please just vote. Don't let their sacrifices go in vain. Make sure that even I'm not your guy, if Travis isn't your guy, make sure you encourage people to tell them how important this August 6th election is. And last but I'll just tell you this. It's not only important in August, we will have a November election. And I'm also grateful, since I've been to the border twice with our National Guard troops and with our Missouri Highway Patrolmen, that you will make a change nationally. We need to make sure that we make a change at the White House, because what you think is coming across the border that you see on TV, it's way worse. Claudia's been there with me. It's disgusting. And the amount of illegal immigrants coming into our country is beyond insane. In Missouri alone, we have 77,000. Fentanyl now is the #1 killer in Missouri between 18 and 42 years old. We're going to stop that, hopefully with Donald J. Trump in November, but nothing else. Missouri is going to continue to support governors like Governor Abbott. We're going to kick the guys out who are causing the problems. If you're selling fentanyl in the state, my legislation will propose that you are charged with murder. We are not going to allow those people to do business here, and we're going to make sure we take care of business with the illegal aliens. So make sure in November, you don't forget to go back to the polls and make a very good switch at the White House, which is sorely needed. I am just grateful that you guys would be together. I actually didn't know this was going on. I came to buy some worm medicine for my horses. But Dixie Williams, I know, is here. John Williams is putting up hay. I told her that's where I probably should be today. So much thank you to the Williams. They've been great. Dixie might not remember this. I know Charlie Cruz, who's with me, when Roy Blunt was running for Senate, this was one of our bus stops at this very location on this very porch. And that's where I met John, and that's probably been, 12, 16 years ago. And so I've always loved going to a farm store. If I had my druthers, that's where I'd probably stay all day. This is a great place. Missouris have been great to me. The agriculture industry has taught me more about life than any piece of business I've ever had. Not only how to deal with my family, my kids, how to overcome adversity, but really how to deal through policy issues in the Capitol. And so I'm very happy to have that background now and be able to represent not only agriculture, but small business, Missouri family farms, and hopefully all of you at the state's Capitol. So thank you so much for being here. God bless each and every one of you. forget to eat the shaved ice.
That's right.